From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast with Scott Sander.
Welcome to the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast. I'm Scott Sander. On this episode, in Access to Capital, we look at another example of the commitment LISC makes to improving livability, opportunity, vitality, and education to affect local neighborhoods positively. Our industry focus today takes a humanities-focused high school. See a global perspective to learning and how it's changing the way students see the world. And in today's success story, we look at the family history of Crew Car Wash and its 75 years of giving back to the community.
Every business is unique and has a target audience. If you own or manage a business, Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble, offering best-in-class results, service, and support to reach a bigger customer base, allowing you to pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. Get outside the city, the state, span the globe. Put Circulus Digital Media to work for you. Get started now at circulusdigital.com. That's circulusdigital.com.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
This week in our Access to Capital segment, we look at another example of how the yearly Love Thy Neighborhood Awards improve our communities, one prize at a time.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Access to Capital.
Each year, the annual Love Thy Neighborhood Awards grant cash prizes to organizations and businesses that are improving the livability, opportunity, vitality, and education in Indianapolis communities.
Well, professionally, SIND works side by side and has since the beginning, as far as LISC being one of the few foundations in the city that are really focused on community-based or community development corporations, and we very much value that relationship and partnership. Personally, I've been involved with them for 15 years as a volunteer and as a consultant, so it's a great relationship, it's a great partnership. They are the lead, have set a standard and a precedent for neighborhood-based planning, which is amazing, and a very big difference between if a developer comes in and identifies an area and sees a vision. The neighborhood-based planning is where the neighbors actually get together, they cross neighborhood boundaries from different backgrounds, and they talk about what is important to their quality of life, and they work together to find the solutions. And LISC being at the forefront and funding and being a good funder and a partner makes all the difference in the world. It wouldn't happen without them.
Well, it's always important to be recognized for the work that you're trying to do to impact neighborhood and community. And from the very beginning, Cleo's really has been that. I mean, it was a love offering back to the neighborhood and the community that had been forced to do without for so long. For us to be able to bring back an affordable and a sustained, healthy food access point for people in the community was really a passion project of mine from when I came on board here in 2016. And so to then be recognized for it, it's one of those affirmations that you don't really look for, but you're very happy when it comes your way. One of the things that we really push for, and that our real theory of action is around trying to create a model where the most affordable thing that a person can do is buy the healthiest food available here. But what we recognize is that even sometimes as affordable as it is, it's still out of reach for some folks in the neighborhood and the community. So we started a program. Some people call it a pay it forward program. We refer to it as our suspended service program. So if you're shopping at Cleo's and you happen to notice how affordable it is by comparison to some other stores or cafes that you've been in, you can leave behind a donation to be able to support somebody in the neighborhood who can't afford to shop here or to eat here. And so we were able to leverage those dollars that we received from the Love Thy Neighbor Awards to be able to have that fund there so that anyone in the neighborhood who needs to shop or is hungry gets met at the front door in the fullness of their humanity, and they get to sit down and eat and enjoy a meal, listen to music, or shop for themselves or their family, just like everyone else. We will, in September, open our own neighborhood and community-based mental health center called Morningstar. And then in late September, we will begin construction on 2 commercial greenhouses. So our farm annually produces about 40,000 pounds of produce. When our greenhouses are fully operational, we'll actually produce that much every quarter. So it'll get us another step closer to being able to have that sustained, affordable, healthy food outlet for folks.
This award meant a lot to our organization. This is history making for us to be here in the She Experience shops here at Circle Center Mall, and to win that award, that gave us some of the capital that we needed to move into the store, get things arranged so that we could open for our grand opening. So it was absolutely part of history making for us, because we are the first Black department store here in Circle Center Mall. This mall has never had this many Black-owned businesses in this mall at one time. So being here is monumental for us. This is history making for us. This has never been done before. We hope that our grandkids will read about us one day, in the history books.
So there is limited opportunity for grassroots organizations to get the kind of recognition that Love Thy Neighbor brings attention to. Not only is it great to go through the process and perhaps receive some cash, awards, if you will, from the program, but it also raises an awareness to other agencies and to other funders. So recognition through Love Thy Neighborhoods not only is recognition by LISC, but could open up the doors for other conversations for those grassroots organizations.
Today, our industry focus looks at a very different way to view public schooling. We had the opportunity to visit a local high school that has a curriculum designed to create a new generation of leaders at the local and global level.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Industry Focus.
In this week's Industry Focus, we meet Indy Johnson, a local school administrator who aims to rewrite the book on education for her students and have a global impact on their lives.
This school is about being purpose-driven as leaders, as teachers, as educators, and as students, even as parents. There's a purpose to all of this. And I like to keep that at the forefront. And you saw some of the religion class, and that's something we added this year, exploring different religions. We really want our students, we don't want to tell them what to think. We want them to know how to think and how to think critically about who they are and their role in the world. So being purpose-driven is at the foundation of what we do, making sure that every staff member understands why they are here and that there is a greater good to all the work that we're doing. We are a wellness-focused school, so we have one full day every week, Wellness Wednesday, where our students and staff focus on self, do mindfulness work, yoga, have different enrichment programs going. So we bring in community members to do programming, and then our teachers can do things that they like. So whether it's sports science or movie reviews, just enriching our students' lives to give them something that they care about, to make sense of what they're learning Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday in the other classes. And then making the world our classroom is the third part of that. So we were in Thailand for the first 2 years of the school. Now we're taking our students, well, we did camping too, but camping is a huge part of what we do, as well as we'll go on a Southern United States tour and HBCU tour and expose our students to different culture in their own country. A lot of our students don't even have exposure to different culture in their own city. And then our 11th graders will go to Puerto Rico and do some Spanish immersion, do some on-the-ground learning there, some rounds of projects. That's the school. So it's a public school. We do not select students, and it's all about students selecting us. And we're starting to communicate who we are in a way where the students who are aligned with what we believe and the families who are aligned with how we operate now, they're starting to see us and they're coming. We're high school. Since we're doing a slow grow, we started with 9th grade only, and we're following that cohort to their senior year. So when they graduate in 2024, that's when we'll have a full 9th to 12th grade school. But our students come from all over the city. We have students who come from Mount Vernon. We have students who come from Pike. We have students who come from Lawrence, Warren. We have them from Wayne Township, and of course Center Township is where our students come from as well. So the students who arrive on a bus, they come from IPS area, Center Township. Anywhere outside of that, they have to be provided transportation, but they come from all over the city. 75 students per grade level is what our ceiling is, and we've actually never met capacity. We have high expectations here, and that's for everybody across the board. We have very high expectations, but we do it with love. But not everybody's comfortable with that level of self-accountability. You see the affirmations around, we're all about that positivity. We're also all about honesty and reflection and accountability and advocacy. Not everybody's ready for that though. So at this point, we're just learning how to build it and let them come. So we're doing it that way. When it comes to that, local autonomy is what that would be. The localized autonomy, there is a big move for localized autonomy of schools, and then there's also a move against it, which a lot of the movement against that localized autonomy comes from the unions. And I'm not here to pick fights with anyone. I am simply here to advocate for what's best for these young humans. If we see how schools, the history of how schools have operated up until this point, we've got to do something different. And having such large school corporations, and those large school corporations are making decisions for 30 to 100,000 students, there's no way that you can make decisions based on what's best for your building or even what's best for the individuals within that building. In my perfect world, you would have central services. So a school district would offer central services. This is my perfect world. This is what's happening with my relationship with IPS. I'm under their legal education agency, their LEA. So when it comes to special education, when it comes to English as a new language, when it comes to those federally protected programs, I have an institution with deep knowledge, with a depth and breadth of knowledge that I do not have, and resources, people, access, all of that. I appreciate having that. Then they stay out of our business when it comes to the day-to-day operations, who I pay, how much, and there are people who have an issue with that. They think pay should be standardized, and we're in a capitalistic society, believe people should be paid what they earn. And really, despite anything, just be paid what you earn. And everyone around here, all of my employees, appreciate it and respect it. What does a school day look like? What are the positions of the day? What are they learning? All of those, I have full autonomy over that. That's the way it should be. The issue is that there's not trust in the school leaders to give that level of autonomy. Also, I don't think the school leaders have been trained to have that level of autonomy. There's a lot of work, inner work, there's a lot of academic work, there's a lot of just work in general that needs to be done in order to know that you're making the best decisions for your employees, for your students, and their families and the community overall. It's a lot of pressure. I want to bring back valuing education and going through the certifications. Right now, we're so desperate as an industry. If you have a heart for children and you have a mind that can learn, we'll take you. And that's where I am. I would say maybe 50% of my staff is highly qualified. The other 50% is being trained, coached, and supported by me into being highly effective. We as school leaders, as educators, we have to focus on growing our own. That's our only way to do this. You find people who have a heart and who are committed to growing and learning and want to see these young people be the best humans they can be. That's all I care about.
Welcome again to Business Equity and Opportunities. Last week we visited with Sally Grant, who took us inside the ever-growing car wash industry. Today she shares some family secrets about how an Indiana family's built its business into one of the largest car wash companies in the country.
This is Business Equity and Opportunities Success Story.
Each week, one of our contributors shares the path that led them to the success they have today. This week, we visit with Sally Grant, Executive Vice President of Crew Car Wash and granddaughter of the founder, Joe Dom. She shares her family's success story.
I'm very lucky to have great mentors in my life, starting with my grandfather, Joe Dom, 95 years young, he would say, and he started the car wash in Fort Wayne, Indiana in 1948, and I obviously grew up around it. My dad joined the business when he was out of college. He moved our family from Fort Wayne to Indianapolis when I was in first grade. So we opened up the first car wash on Allisonville Road in Indianapolis back in 1985. And from there, my dad really grew the business. My grandfather set a really strong foundation of all of our guiding principles, our values, but my dad was able to grow it, and Indianapolis in the 80s, 90s, I mean, just thriving market. So lots of success there. And I'm third generation, and it's kind of, my responsibility to be a steward of the family business and make sure that this can continue to be generational. We think it's very special that we're in this family business and the opportunities that it's provided us, but more importantly, our great team members. At Crew, we want to stay true to, what has made us successful. And that's not being the biggest, it's being known for the best customer experience and the best team member experience. Focus on your team. It starts with your team members because they are the ones serving your customers. And like my grandpa always said, if your team is happy, they're going to do an outstanding job and wow your customers. So we really focus on that at Crew every day. What can we do for our team to keep them engaged, to help them reach their full potential? I give my grandfather a lot of credit, my dad as well, for setting that precedent early on, that how important it is to give back to the communities we serve in, because that's where our customers are. We know that our customers are involved with a lot of nonprofits. Their kids are going to our local schools, so we want to make sure we do our part and help those organizations through special events we may have on site at our location. Fundraising program where we give 50% of all proceeds back to these organizations. It's just a core of why we do what we do. It's an interesting dynamic because you definitely have the business side of things, which is really important, but there's also those family, emotions and communication that go on behind the scenes. And I think I'm fortunate to be in a family where we can speak our mind, we can disagree, but at the end of the day, we're family, we respect each other. We can leave the office or leave the car wash and go to the kids' little league game together with my dad, and we can try to keep business at work and then also separate that into kind of our family lives. But good communication is key. The future for us, at least, looks like we want to continue growing because we feel like that is a way to continually attract great people to our team, give them career advancement opportunities, advancements to be managers, advancement to be area directors, join our support team. So we want to be part of a growing company, but we want to do it in a conservative, profitable way where we're not outgrowing our culture. So we're continuing to look for great real estate here in Indiana and outside of Indiana, and focus on all of the key training elements that we have in place for our team members, and continually thinking of ways we can help our customers solve some of those everyday little problems like, hey, I've got to run an errand, I've got to get my car cleaned. So we really want to keep our customers at core focus and our team.
Our thanks again to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of the Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. We hope you found it enlightening, useful, and inspiring. You'll find more information about the show on our website, BEOshow.com. You can watch Business Equity and Opportunities Sunday mornings at 10 on Wish TV or live stream it through wishtv.com. Each week, we provide 7 full segments with topics ranging from how to get started and how to access capital to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join us next time for more insights into the world of small business. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for listening.
Watch the Business Equity and Opportunity Show on Wish TV and access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at BEOshow.com. You can find more podcasts from Wish TV on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.